Well, Jon,
Hey, guys.
dominant victory for you this evening, just the way you said you wanted to do it. Seemed much easier than the first time around.
Yeah.
Give me an idea. What was you seem very patient to start out with, but what was the biggest key to your performance tonight?
First, I got to start by saying all glory be to God. You know, I know it had to have been Him to help me get through everything that I've been going through. So you know, I'm just the temple, and God has totally given me the power to be in this position. So I thank Him so much, and all glory be to God. Secondly, my trainers, partners, and my coaches. Jackson's Mixed Martial Arts Wing Academy, Jesse, my swimming coach, Lawrence, my strength and conditioning coach, my brother Tule, Leo. I see my man Matt back there. I mean, just so many mighty men. Brandon Gibson, Tusa, Izzy. So many mighty men that has worked together to build this product that we have today. I believe as a team, we are only getting better. 31 years old, and I feel like we're only getting better. So hope I didn't leave anybody out. But you guys know I all love you so much. Miss Jessie, my fiance. Sheila, her mother. I'm so glad to see her here tonight. Had so much love, my father, my mom. Had so much love. So many people helping build me up. So shout out to all of them. And to answer your question, what was the key tonight? You know, my dad said something interesting to me before he left the hotel room. He said, don't chase Gustafsson tonight. People cheered last time whenever he would run away from me. And he said, don't chase him. Do not chase him, you know. And that really rung in my head in the locker room and things like that. And so I changed it up and I kind of Gustafsson. I did the running, I did the backing away, and it worked out. It worked out. I got to display my footwork. Tonight he was kind of plotty, marching forward the whole time. He kept saying he wanted to put pressure on me, and I backed up and I made sure I scored points. And I kept him guessing, level changes, and actual shots, kicks, and punches. And yeah, I don't know. I think maybe his aggression worked against him.
You got your belt back tonight. You got back to work after a year and a half away. You got this rematch that you've been wanting forever. I mean, all these things accomplished, got through controversy as well, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the most satisfying reward of tonight?
To be back in this position, to give God the glory. To be back in this position to give God the glory, man. Yeah.
After it, you went to your rival right away. You said DC, but I'm curious because you said DC. I've got this belt. Come get it.
Yeah.
Is there something that wouldn't be more satisfying about maybe moving up to heavyweight and taking the belt that he has there?
No, you know, when it comes to Daniel Cormier, he's always quiet unless he's speaking out to discredit me and my legacy, my achievements. You know, every time he opens his mouth, and it works against him. I see the fans' reaction. They're just like, dude, leave Jon Jones alone for once. Dude, he beat you. You sound so bitter. He works his hardest to try to discredit and try to delegitimize the fact that I beat him twice. And the only thing I want to delegitimize as a retaliation is his claim of being a light heavyweight champion. He was never the light heavyweight champion. He never beat me. But this has been my era since 2011. I want to make that loud and clear. DC is no champ. When we talk about an asterisk next to my name, there's going to be always an asterisk next to the idea of him being a champ. The only way he can shut me up of what I'm saying right now is to beat my ass. Simple. Me going to heavyweight would be making it extremely personal. And for me, I have no problem with DC. I have a problem when he comes out and says, see, I told you guys he's a cheater. I told you he's a cheater. I have no real problem with DC. I'm not going to go to heavyweight and try to take everything from him and destroy his legacy and all that type of stuff. Is it possible that I could do that? It is possible. But I'm fine having mine, and he can have his. DC needs to admit to the people that he was never the light heavyweight champion, or face me at light heavyweight and shut me up.
Congratulations, Jon.
Thanks, Kevin.
My first question for you is the changing you in the third round. You referenced the first 2 rounds, how you were just trying to score points and kind of get some kicks in. You seem like Jon Jones in the third round, where you had that explosion that you were known for, and you didn't have that maybe in the first 2 rounds. Was that because you were kind of holding back, and then when you saw what you needed to see, that you changed up?
Yeah, I in the first 2 rounds, I still haven't watched the fight, so the things I'm saying may not be completely accurate, but in the first 2 rounds, I was just trying to play smart. I was trying to figure out his range. I was trying to figure out any new tools that he may have added to his game. And I didn't see any new tools. I noticed that my level of range was a lot stronger, thanks to my kickboxing coaches and boxing partner, Leo. I noticed my understanding was stronger, and I started thinking to myself, Jon, don't let him into this fight. The only way you can let him into this fight is by giving him a slow pace, allowing him to build confidence, things like that. So once I noticed that we kind of was figuring him out, I said, okay, if you believe in your cardio and your training, if you believe that you're meant to win this fight, take the fight, win this fight, and instead of waiting and backing up and being reactive and allowing him to get into the fight, I decided to start to turn it on and take the fight to him, fight my fight, instead of waiting to see what he was capable of.
This is such a sport that takes so much from the fighters, right? And it drains you over time. And I know you lost a lot with all the problems you had over the years, mostly money. But do you think it helped you in a way, Jon, that because you just competed once a year for the last couple of years, that your body didn't get all that wear and tear that it might have had if you fought 2 or 3 times in those years, and now you're going into your 30s with a lot more mileage on you. So do you feel like in some small way you kind of got a break by not having to fight all those?
Absolutely, absolutely. Being suspended for 3 years out of the last several years has been very educational for me. The biggest thing that I've been able to do is have an understanding of who I am outside of the sport. Outside of Jon Bones Jones, who's Jonathan Dwight Jones? I got to go to therapy this summer and talk a lot about who Jonathan Jones is and what means most to Jonathan Jones. I got to see how people treat me when I'm not in the limelight, when I'm not training for a fight, when my reputation is not the best. I got to learn to differentiate between legitimate friendship and people who are around. I've learned a lot. Financially, I got to see my spending patterns, and if that's a healthy thing when you're not sponsored by a lot of companies. I learned a lot. I feel like a lot of times when an athlete retires, they feel this emptiness, and they have these identity issues. And I've had the blessing to understand that and be able to come back into the sport. And the result of that is a greater appreciation for what this sport means, what this belt means, what it means to be in my position. And I think that's going to make me a more dangerous athlete because I have a greater appreciation.
Who helped you specifically with your mental aspect? Because, Dana even referenced this. He was asked earlier about nothing bothered you, all of the people taunting you about the drug testing and, all the stuff that came up. You seem like you just put it in the background. You dealt with it like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
How did you come to get that approach to life that you don't dwell on the negative things and let those bother you and affect your future?
Well, it's an accumulation of things. I felt like UFC 200, UFC 151 has prepared me for a curveball like this. And I feel like losing my mom and having the belt stripped from me, and what I believe, it was I was innocent throughout this whole thing. I felt like nothing that this sport can throw at me, no opponent can hit me as hard as life hit me this summer. And so I know to be in my position is just a total blessing. To be talked about, to be hated, to be cared about ultimately, it's a blessing. And so I believe that maybe God or something is saying that it's not designed to be easy, but it's totally going to be worth it. And I stand by that. I live by that. To be the best ever, possibly, is not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be easy, and that's how I feel.
There's been so much talk, Jon, about the tens of millions of dollars that have gotten away from you with lost sponsorships and fights and everything like that. You look so good tonight. I mean, how busy do you want to try to be in 2019? I mean, and building off what Kevin said, I mean, does the extended layoff allow you to, get a pile of fights in over this time?
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I answered Kevin's question about the layoff. I do feel like the layoff has preserved my body and my mind. I don't spar much. I didn't spar much this camp. And I feel like, I'm 31 years old and I got a lot more in me. Originally a lot of people said that, they said, Jon's beating the old legends of the sport. He's beating the Shoguns and the Rampages. These guys are past their prime. And I'm only 31 years old and I'm still getting better. My team is getting smarter. We're getting stronger as a unit. And I think that should be really, that's going to be scary for a lot of people. So yeah. And as far as the money that's been lost, Dana White told me a long time ago. He said, "Kid, you're a good-looking kid. You're a smart kid, and if you do things right, if you surround yourself with the right people, money should never be your issue until the day you die. You should always be able to make money, Jon. And so I try not to worry about money that's lost."
How soon do you think you can get back in there? And I think the other thing that's going to be connected to your next fight is that, you probably won't have even a metabolite or a pictogram or whatever was in your system for this fight. Finally.
I hope not, man. I'm learning about this Tyrannobol, and I hear that it could possibly be in my body for the next 7 years, which is really scary. In the first drug test situation with Daniel Cormier, they found a long-term metabolite in my body. There was no short-term metabolites being found in my body. I don't know how long this has been in my body, but I'd eventually like to fight to get my Daniel Cormier fight overturned, because if there was short-term metabolites found in my body, you would be able to tell that something got in me recently. But they found a long-term metabolite in my body. They've never found short-term metabolites in my body. And people ask me, how do you know, Jon, and this isn't something that's new putting in Jon's body before this fight? And if it was new, you would find short-term metabolites, medium-term metabolites. You're only finding long-term metabolites. Maybe this was in my, I don't know. I don't know how long this has been in my body, but I hear it could be in there for up to 7 years. Tonight I got drug tested by 2 different agencies. Yesterday I got drug tested by VADA for the first time, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be tested by the most legit drug testing agencies in the world, so that we can learn exactly what this is, and get to the bottom of it. And I said earlier in the interview that if I'm lying, then I pray that the Lord take every ounce of talent out of my body. I took a polygraph test. I looked these people in the eyes and said that I have never done anything to cheat this sport. And I passed that polygraph test. I have no Jedi mind tricks to pass polygraph tests. I believe that I'll be vindicated, proven innocent, and I'm just going to put it in God's hands.
Hey, Jon, congratulations on the win tonight. You're sort of right. You and Alex had a little bit of a moment there after the fight. What did you guys say to each other?
Alex said, "Man, you are really good and really strong." I said, "Thank you, Alex." I said, "Thank you for being such a great opponent." And I said, "We're both only 31. you know we're going to be fighting again. And he said, yeah, we're going to be fighting again. And I said, darn it. And yeah, we're gonna be fighting many, many times. He's gonna keep me on my game, and I'm gonna keep him continuing to strive and get better. I believe Alexander will beat most guys in the division, but I'm here to stay. I believe that this is my era, and I'm gonna own it for many years to come.
That's actually my next question, because you come back and you beat the guy that people said, this is the guy that was your hardest test before. Some people even said that, Alex won the first fight. You come back after a layoff, you beat him. What is next, and what do you see as far as, like, what are the goals and accomplishments? You've already accomplished so much. What is next? What
is next is for me to keep a degree of humility and to stay in the gym. To stay in the gym, stay getting better, and to not take anyone lightly. To not let my head get too big, not take anyone lightly. There's a lot of fresh meat that is rising up in the division, and in order for me to conquer these guys, I have to stay by the fire, stay in the gym, stay knowing that I don't know everything, and that's what's next.
So you'll be kind of like the veteran guy welcoming the young lions like you once were.
Oh yeah, well, I'm still a young lion. I'm only 31, and I've never been knocked out. I've been rocked in training maybe once or twice. I have a very healthy brain, a very strong jaw, and a will to be on top for a long time.
Is the plan for now to go in front of the Nevada Commission now next month and get that done with and get licensed there and then move on?
Yeah, my plan is to face everything head on, to answer every question, to take every test, to take every polygraph, to pay every penalty, to do whatever I gotta do to prove my innocence.
And then just last thing for me, you were talking about the long-term metabolite, and that was the one that was found in your system last year, the July 2017 test.
Yep.
Now that you know more about this, that it could have been in your system even for years already, maybe.
Yeah.
Does that open up, like, at the time when you were investigating that last year, you guys didn't know that. You didn't know that maybe it was something you took years ago. Will that open things up and say maybe there was something I took in like 2015, you know what I mean? Like,
from what I understand, and I don't know how true this is, and no one knows what's true and false about this stuff, because I'm kind of being a guinea pig right now. From what I understand, this stuff can live in your body for up to 7 years. And when I felt it the first time with Daniel Cormier, there was never a short-term metabolite found. There was never a midterm metabolite found. There was only a long-term metabolite found. So who says this hasn't been in my body since who knows how long, since 7 years ago? And that's why I'm going to look into trying to get my first DC fight overturned. And we're talking picograms. And this is something that I've just been educated on. And this is something that the whole MMA community is being educated on as we speak. And if a picogram really is 1 single gram of salt chopped into 50 million pieces, maybe we need to reevaluate the testing, right? And see, is the testing way too good? Maybe some of you guys got some picograms in you right now. Seriously. So I know in my heart that I've never cheated the sport. I've said it through the beginning. It literally almost drove me crazy this summer to be accused of being a steroid cheat. And that's why I will spend every dollar. I will face every jury. I will take every polygraph test to prove that I have never intentionally cheated this sport. I'm glad that it's very clear that it gives me no athletic performance enhancing benefits. And why in the world would I do something like that to discredit all these years of hard work, to ruin my own legacy when it never gave me an advantage in the first place? That's common sense. But people will ignore common sense because people have always wanted to see maybe it not be true. Maybe I'm not the best. Maybe I cheated all this time. I'll never be able to win that argument, and I'm totally comfortable in that space. I'm just gonna keep on kicking ass.
Thanks, Jon.
Oh, I got a clap, a single clap. Hey, thanks, coach. Thanks, guys.
Jon, congratulations on your winning tonight. I'm not going to ask any more questions about doping. It was too much, I think. But do you consider in the future going in a heavyweight?
Yeah, eventually I'll go heavyweight. I think I'll start entertaining the idea of taking what's super fights against the perfect opponents. Yeah.
Tonight, I had a feeling you were kind of going slow at the second round, and the third round, I saw that you were breathing hard. You know, it was difficult. You know, what you felt that moment? Were you tired or?
No, I never. At no point did I feel tired. Um, I'm just starting to believe in my experience and my education when it comes to this mixed martial arts thing, and I know that there's no rush. Rushing is how you can get knocked out. You know, be comfortable backing up. As long as you're scoring points, it's not considered running. And so I was just patient. I was just waiting. When Coach Wink told me, John, wait for the boom. Wait for the boom moment. You know, pick 'em, score when you can, and eventually the boom will come. The boom, my last fight happened with a head kick over DC. The boom this time was scoring a solid takedown. And so we were just patient. We knew we were winning every round. The fight metrics has already shown that I've won every round. And just patient.
Well, congratulations. It was a very impressive comeback. And the last question is, have you seen the fight, Chris fighting Amanda Nunes? What do you think about it? You know, your comments.
My comments is I'm extremely proud, happy for Amanda Nunes, mainly for Brazil, to have now the most dominant woman champion of all time being from Brazil. I'm extremely proud for Brazil. I've always had this interesting connection to Brazil. I really adore that country. So I'm really happy for Amanda Nunes. At the same time, as a Christian, I'm really sad for Chris Cyborg. As a woman of God, I got to admit that I wanted her to win. And that's no knock on Amanda. They're both great champions. And it was a great fight to watch.
Hi, John, over here. You're talking about fighting Gustafsson again, possibly, so you don't feel that chapter is closed now?
I think it's closed. But I also am smart enough to know that Gustafsson will fight his way back to the top. And so a third fight's inevitable.
He talked about a knee to the groin that slowed him down. Did you sense that?
No, I never said anything about a knee to the groin that slowed him down.
Gustafsson talked about that.
Oh, did he say that? Oh, wow. There will always be something. There will always be something.
And what do you think is next for him now?
For him to keep his head high. That's what I would like to see from him. To keep his head high and know that he is right there with the top guys in the division, to continue to develop his game. And I need Gustafsson to stay sharp. I have to know that there's guys like him out there to stay sharp. And so keep your head high, get back to the drawing board, and let's do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I saw you were talking about the fight here.
Hey.
Hey. You're talking about the women fight, and I saw you with Cyborg over there.
Yeah.
As a champ, like she was like the reigning champ for so long, and always like when you're a champ like this, you're the target for everyone. So what did you talk with her, and what advice can you give her? You know, like.
Yeah. So after her press conference in the back of the room, I just told her that I'm honored to stand by her because of her clarity in such a hectic situation. She said, her quote was, you know, I don't know why God did this, but he has a plan for all of our lives. And whether you're a believer or not, I do believe he has a plan for all of our lives. And the fact that she wasn't discouraged or dismayed by this, it showed me that strength and what it is. She understands that it was in God's will for her to lose tonight. And she was a woman enough to still have pride in who she is and not feel like a failure. And she will know why this happened eventually, and she'll come back stronger than ever. My advice is for her to keep her head high and know that God has a plan for her.
You were talking about the new guys in the division. Which guys do you see as like probably opponents for you in a short time?
I don't want to flatter any of these guys by calling them out. Tonight has been a great night for me, hard-earned, and I don't want headlines to be tomorrow, Jon Jones called out this guy or that guy. They are all just pieces of this puzzle, and whoever it be, despite the name, I'll be ready for more victory.
And with all your special connection with Brazil that you said, any plans on fighting in there?
Man, I would love to fight in Brazil one day, just not against a Brazilian. You guys are the most passionate fans ever. You guys chant, "You will die, you will die." I don't want to die. sister here with the camera, I was extremely disrespectful to you, and I'm sincerely sorry. I was ready to fight, and I felt a little bit of maybe an attack, and I wasn't in the mood to lose. Yeah, I was just not in the mood to lose, not even a verbal argument. I'm so sorry for disrespecting you.
Hey, John. There's been a lot of talk leading up to this fight about you not being 100% the first time you fought Gustafsson. Can you just talk a little bit about the difference between these two fights and your preparation?
What's your question again?
So my question is, you were talking a lot about not being 100%, being reckless before the fight last time against Gustafsson.
Right.
Can you talk about the difference in this fight and your preparation leading up to this fight?
Well, he showed me what he was capable of. That you can't take people lightly, and I promised him that I took him lightly. I knew what I was up to behind the scenes, and the difference was my respect. My respect for him and his boxing, his coaching staff. He's a legit threat, and I treated him as such for the months leading up to the fight, and it resulted in two different results. Hey guys, I am so sorry, but I got a cold, and I got my friends and family in the back of the room. I'm done with you guys. You guys be good, all right?
Thank you, John.